The drama surrounding one of boxing's most daring experiments in greatness unfolded on a night when the sport asked a question that had fascinated fans for generations. Could a fighter who dominated the lighter divisions step into the heavyweight arena and defeat a full-size champion? For decades, that idea had been more myth than reality, because the heavyweight division has always been boxing's ultimate proving ground, a place where size, strength, and power often outweigh speed and finesse. But on this night, the spotlight turned toward a fighter who had already rewritten the rules of boxing brilliance, a man whose talent seemed to bend the limits of what was supposed to be possible. His name was Roy Jones Jr., and standing across from him was the reigning WBA heavyweight champion, John Ruiz. When the introductions began, the contrast between the fighters felt almost symbolic. The referee stepped forward, gave the final instructions, and the tension in the ring tightened like a coiled spring. Moments later, the bell rang and the fight began. From the opening seconds, it became clear that this contest would revolve around a fascinating clash of styles. Ruiz immediately tried to impose his size advantage by attacking the body and pushing Jones toward the ropes. For a heavyweight champion facing a smaller challenger, this was the logical strategy. The goal was simple: make the smaller man feel the weight of the division, lean on him, slow him down, and gradually wear him out. But Jones had built his career on doing the unexpected. Rather than retreating into a defensive shell, he began probing with quick movements and sharp counters, testing Ruiz's timing and reactions. Jones had never been known as a fighter who relied heavily on the jab. His style was built around explosive bursts, sudden combinations, and punches thrown from angles that seemed almost impossible to predict. Yet in this fight, something subtle but important began to unfold. Jones started using the jab more frequently, snapping it toward Ruiz's face and disrupting the rhythm the champion wanted to establish. It was a calculated adjustment, a sign that Jones understood the challenge in front of him. Against a heavyweight, every second mattered, and every punch had to serve a purpose. As the first round unfolded, both fighters made their presence known. Ruiz landed solid shots and pushed forward with determination, but Jones answered with quick flurries and precise counters that reminded everyone why he had become one of boxing's most celebrated athletes. A sharp uppercut from Jones snapped Ruiz's head back, followed by a right hand that carried enough force to draw attention from the crowd. It was not just the power that impressed observers, but the speed with which the punches arrived. Ruiz was the larger man, yet Jones seemed to reach the target first almost every time. By the time the second round began, the tempo of the fight had started to settle into a pattern that favored Jones. He controlled the center of the ring, moved with calm precision, and chose his moments carefully. Ruiz waited, looking for openings that never seemed to appear. It was exactly the kind of pace Jones preferred, a tactical rhythm where he could conserve energy while delivering sudden bursts of offense. Each time Ruiz tried to close the distance, Jones met him with quick combinations before circling away. The difference in speed became increasingly obvious. Jones was not overwhelming Ruiz with volume, but he was beating him to the punch with remarkable consistency. When Ruiz tried to jab, Jones answered with sharper shots. When Ruiz attempted to step inside, Jones slipped away and countered with hooks and straight rights. The champion's plan to dominate physically was struggling to take shape because every approach came with a price. Jones's counters forced Ruiz to hesitate, and that hesitation created the space Jones needed to operate. By the third round, the fight had begun to resemble a masterclass in tactical boxing. Jones, despite being the smaller man, appeared comfortable and relaxed. He moved effortlessly across the ring, using angles and footwork to keep Ruiz from trapping him along the ropes. The crowd could sense the shift in momentum. What had begun as a question about whether Jones could survive among heavyweights was gradually turning into something else entirely. The challenger was not just surviving, he was controlling the fight. Ruiz remained determined, searching for the single moment that could change everything. Heavyweight boxing has always carried that possibility, the knowledge that one powerful punch can reverse the course of a fight in an instant. But Jones seemed fully aware of that danger. He stayed disciplined, avoided unnecessary exchanges, and continued to chip away at Ruiz with quick combinations. Each round added another layer to the narrative forming in the ring. The champion looked increasingly cautious, while the challenger looked increasingly confident. As the fight moved into the middle rounds, Jones began to display something that surprised even long-time observers of his career. He started mixing in body shots, driving punches into Ruiz's ribs and midsection. It was a subtle but effective tactic. Body shots against a heavyweight serve two purposes. They score points, but they also sap energy from a larger opponent who relies on strength and endurance. Ruiz absorbed the damage without obvious signs of distress, but the accumulation of damage was becoming part of the larger story unfolding in the ring. Round after round, Jones continued to dictate the pace. Ruiz had moments where he pressed forward more aggressively, especially when he managed to push Jones closer to the ropes. But those moments rarely lasted long. Jones slipped away, reset in the center of the ring, and resumed his pattern of precise attacks. His hands were still fast, his reflexes still sharp, and his confidence continued to grow as the fight progressed. By the later rounds, the statistics told the story clearly. Jones had thrown more punches, landed more punches, and maintained control of the fight's rhythm. Ruiz had tried to rally, launching occasional bursts of offense and landing some solid body shots, but the champion's efforts came too sporadically to change the overall picture. The smaller man was outboxing the heavyweight champion in a way few people had predicted. The final rounds carried an air of inevitability. Jones moved with the calm assurance of a fighter who knew the victory was within reach. Ruiz, still pushing forward with determination, searched for the outcome opportunity that never materialized. Each exchange reinforced the same reality. Jones's speed and intelligence had neutralized Ruiz's size and strength. When the final bell sounded, the crowd rose to its feet, fully aware that they had witnessed something special. The judges' scorecards confirmed what everyone had seen throughout the fight. Roy Jones Jr. had defeated John Ruiz and captured the WBA heavyweight title. In doing so, he joined one of boxing's most exclusive groups, fighters who conquered the heavyweight division after beginning their careers far below it. It was more than just a victory. It was a moment that reshaped Jones' legacy. By stepping into the heavyweight division and dominating a reigning champion, he proved that his brilliance could transcend the traditional limits of weight classes. The performance was not built on reckless aggression or desperate risk-taking. It was built on intelligence, timing, and a level of skill that allowed him to outmaneuver a naturally larger opponent for 12 rounds. For boxing fans, the fight became one of those rare moments when the sport's mythology collided with reality. The idea of a smaller fighter conquering the heavyweight throne had long captured the imagination of the boxing world. On this night, that idea became history. And now, the question turns to you. Was this one of the greatest achievements in boxing history, or do you think fighters from smaller divisions should avoid challenges against heavyweights? Did Roy Jones prove that pure skill can overcome size, or was this a unique moment that can never truly be repeated? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy deep dives into legendary fights in boxing history like this one, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown of the sport's most unforgettable battles.